All right, hello and welcome to the second episode of Groovy Movies, the podcast. For those of you who don't know what Groovy Movies is, we here in Athens, we get together, people on the Facebook page vote on which movie we're going to watch for the week, and then we get together at a friend's house, watch it all, have a good time. I'm Hiatt, alongside me.
I'm Wyatt.
We didn't say our names last time.
Yeah, that was a faux pas.
That was Wyatt. You're the podcast expert.
Yeah, I mean, no one does a podcast that never says their name. Like, people would just be listening to it and be like, "Oh, hi strangers, hi bodiless, nameless voices."
It's like just like it's totally like schizophrenic, like listening to voices.
Just like someone's just on the toilet being like, "Am I listening to a podcast or am I going insane?"
So every week on the podcast we have a guest, and this week we have my good friend Coleman here.
Hey everyone.
This was Coleman's first Groovy Movies, so it's impressive.
Wait, let me clarify something. It's possible that we might not have a guest sometimes, because like we're getting into an area where like I feel like there's movies we're gonna do that people like don't want to watch.
Yeah. Like I want to keep the one that we've been talking about under wraps.
Yeah, we got a secret. We have a surprise.
But. Yeah, no, you're right. We had 4 people wanted to be on this podcast for Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah,
too.
It was high stakes. Yeah,
yeah, it was the banana.
I don't think we mentioned actually we watched Weekend at Bernie's too.
Oh yeah, Well, I mean, the title of the video will say Weekend at, or the podcast will say we watched Weekend at Bernie's too. Okay. But the way we chose is there were bananas, and if your banana had the number 14 written on it, you got to be on the podcast.
Yeah, people drew bananas.
People drew bananas. Weekend at Bernie's 2, quick spoiler alert, was one of the more popular movies we've watched.
Yeah,
I don't say
that's a spoiler for anything.
Spoiler alert for our enjoyment.
Spoiler alert,
for our enjoyment of the movie.
Yeah, spoiler alert, we liked the movie.
A lot. No, but we started the podcast last week, and we've had like probably the 2 best weeks.
Yeah, the 2
really,
best
there
weeks
wasn't much to talk about.
Really.
Well, yeah, no. Well, I guess, I mean, we didn't think anything could top Sleepaway Camp, and this came close.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's start by saying a little while ago, me and Hiatt watched the first Weekend at Bernie's with some friends, and we loved it. I mean, we thoroughly enjoyed that movie. It's great. It's a really fun movie if you haven't seen it. And we were like, okay, how can you really top a movie like Weekend at Bernie's? I mean, it's insane through and through. And then you see Weekend at Bernie's 2,
and it's better.
It's really just a better movie. And you understand, this is, I mean, they outdid themselves, like, incredibly. I mean, it's hard to explain exactly what about the second Weekend at Bernie's is better, but you just get this, feeling of, like...
Quickly, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So we do have to talk about...
Yeah, first we gotta talk about an episode of That 80s Show we watched. Okay, yeah, I know that sounds weird.
Put this to the side.
I think we mentioned this in passing last week.
Yeah, we're gonna table this conversation.
We watch an episode of That 80s Show every week before and I think this was episode 7. It was episode 6 or 7.
It was episode 6. Now, here's the thing. This is the problem. We're not starting on episode 1 of the show, so if you're listening to this podcast to get your weekly update on what happened in a show that's years old,
nothing happens in any episode.
Yeah, nothing happens. Okay. In fact, I don't even know why we're talking about this.
Yeah, just quick recap. Glenn Howerton is mad because Tuesday, who's the girl that he hates but is also his love interest,
who also works at the
record store with him. You guys, that's really the entire show up until this point.
Well, I thought the entire show up until this point was just shameless references to
movies. Every other line of dialogue is just, we live in the 80s.
The problem with this show is that, it doesn't have any of the kind of, charm that 70s show had, because that 70s show, it was set in the 70s, but it wasn't hammering you over the head with the fact that it was in the 70s. It was just a show that was set in the 70s, and, sometimes you kind of got, a sense of the period it was in, but it never... They never... I mean, sometimes you're just oh, that's a very 70s thing for someone to do. Or, well, look at that car. That's a 70s-ass car. And, the couches, and,
but that 80s show...
That 80s show is just we're in the 80s. Can you believe we're in the 80s? It doesn't... God. It's just relentless.
So the plot of this episode is Glenn Howerton's friend from high school is opening for the Smiths, and his music sucks, but we never hear it.
We use friend loosely.
Friend,
Really,
yeah.
I don't think he likes this guy.
I don't think he's a big fan of this guy.
He's not a big fan. In fact, he curses his name at the end of the episode.
So, and then Tuesday, he hates and also his love interest, goes out with this guy, which isn't really a date. As you mentioned.
It's not a date. The guy's just like, hey, will you come watch me play music and sit alone?
Well, first they have that
and
thing
she's
in
like,
the
it's a
office.
date.
Oh yeah, they have the office.
Yeah,
thing.
they have a moment in the office that we don't really see.
Yeah,
until,
who knows what
until
happened.
Glenn Howerton
So
barges in on them in like the most like awkward way.
in the end, Glenn Howerton overcomes his hatred of her and asks her out, which is a really weird.
Well, I don't think there's really anything to overcome. I think he always liked her. He's too
Glenn Howerton to admit it. And the subplot's one of the fucking dumbest things that I've ever seen on television. And I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, we gotta
mention it.
Okay, in 6 words, can you say what happened?
Ooh. Glenn's sister, no money, fakes vacation.
Good, that's perfect.
Very good.
That's brilliant.
That's wonderful.
So, Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Weekend at Bernie's 2,
the main event.
Now, I want to start this by saying this is something I mentioned to Hiatt and Coleman earlier, and that's that I don't want to... Okay, I'm going to date this podcast terribly right now, but do not vote for Bernie Sanders. Don't vote for Bernie Sanders. Do not do it. He's a terrible, terrible man. And that is because in my search to find Weekend at Bernie's merchandise, he's ruined it. He's ruined everything.
You can't do it.
You can't look up you can't put the word Bernie into Google without getting... Just a slew of Bernie Sanders nonsense.
How much Bernie Sanders content does America need?
I literally looked up Weekend at Bernie's t-shirts, and there was probably like 6 shirts that are just a picture of it's just like the cover of Weekend at Bernie's, except instead of the 2 guys holding up Bernie Lomax, they're holding up Bernie Sanders.
That's not cool.
And
that's not
that's
funny.
terrible. It's not funny.
That's
just cheesy and dumb.
Obvious.
That's dumb. Yeah.
So when election time rolls around and you know it falls upon you to vote, I want you to write in a Bernie Lomax.
We have a year for this podcast to not be dated. Or like about a year, right? Because the election's next November.
Oh my God! So right now this podcast is in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, because Bernie he hasn't even beat Hillary yet.
Well, I'm talking about the primaries right now.
It's kind of hard for me to tell our viewers to vote for Hillary.
But at least Hillary has
vote for someone else.
She's not ruining a movie.
Vote for like a third.
Hillary's not destroying a movie.
Exactly.
He probably is somewhere.
She's probably destroying some movie called Weekend at Hillary's that no one's ever heard of before. That's fine.
She's probably making Weekend at Hillary's right now to prove that she's like fun.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. Anyways, so the actual movie though.
Yeah, the actual movie
is great.
The actual movie is really great, and
should we do a quick rundown of the plot?
Yeah, we're gonna run down the plot a little bit for you guys so you can kind of understand.
But this won't be as in depth.
Yeah, like the last time we ran we broke it down like this podcast is still in its infancy, so we're trying to we still have to like kind of set our
what we're doing.
Yeah, we have to set up our format. Okay. We gotta hit our groove.
Noah and I really needed to get Sleepaway Camp off our chests. That's what that was. We had so much.
I think everyone had some
everyone had
a lot of pent up feelings about Sleepaway Camp.
And the audio is not good on
This movie was great, and I have a lot to say about it. But I was also kind of like, I didn't have that anxiousness that I did.
Yeah, Sleepaway Camp is like we had to talk about it. Like, so Weekend at Bernie's picks up seamlessly. I didn't know, like, at the end of Weekend at Bernie's 1, I'm like, this story's all wrapped up nice.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize...
Weekend at Bernie's, so in the last scene of Weekend at Bernie's, they're taking Bernie away in an ambulance, and this movie literally begins with a animated sequence, the credit sequence is this animated thing of him in the ambulance.
It's really weird.
And they're taking him, somehow they're driving from this island to New York in an ambulance. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like... If that sequence is entirely literal, but
I think it's very literal.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, because like it's like really like cartoony and like Looney Tunesy.
But
at the same time, like that's like the most important part of the story.
Exactly. The movie itself, like the live action events in this movie are just as cartoony, if not more, than the actual like zany
But like,
cartoon.
it's just weird
intro.
that they gloss over that so much because that's literally like that's probably like debatably the most important part of the story is like how did they get back in New York like fine.
Yeah, they really don't talk.
They
about
really
that
don't
at all.
talk about it like
They go back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Oh yeah,
Pretty-
no,
pretty
they
carelessly.
They literally characters travel like across country instantly.
Yeah.
Like those there's a part where those two guys are stuck in New York and they don't have the body and they're just like, oh shit, we need to get back to the Bahamas. Cut to them back in the Bahamas.
You'd think they're
Okay.
right next to each
That's like
other.
a what is that, like a 10-hour plane ride?
So-
and like $1,300 and 10 hours later they're back in
yeah,
the
no,
Bahamas. But we
this
don't see any of
movie
that.
really doesn't, and it's great because it doesn't really care about the
Yeah,
details.
this movie has no time
So-
for nonsense.
So let me say, like, but like there actually are like first like scene of the movie is Larry and Richie, and they're getting fired because they still kind of like it does look
They think
suspicious.
the insurance fraud is
Is
their
that-
fault.
Yeah, they think
Kind of.
somehow, I don't
I
know.
don't think
Yeah,
they
this
actually
doesn't
think
make
that.
any-
They're trying
no,
to pin it on that.
No,
Yeah.
they do think they did that because you know that one guy.
The one guy.
Who's
Yeah, he
that one
does
guy
think-
played by? I have to look that up.
So they're trying to figure out where the $2 million are because they
Yeah.
want the $2 million, and they think that they're onto it. So they have this like private investigator guy, but meanwhile in like on the Virgin Islands, there's a voodoo doctor, and it's one of the high level executive guys too. Because at the very first scene, you see the guy in the suit, and he's like going to them with this proposition, right?
No, that's not him. That's a dude from the cartel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like it's like it's not like the voodoo cult people are just like we want money, like they
Yeah, no, the voodoo cult has been like hired by
And again,
a drug cartel to find their money.
we have no idea when or how or why this happened.
This is all speculation.
This is
really.
all-
We don't even know if this is what's
Literally
really
all that
happening.
happens is a guy in a suit from the cartel is already there and already propositioning this weird like what was his mindset? Like, oh, I have to find this money, time to go to the voodoo cult. Like, I don't know. Who's he played by? Who's the personal investigator?
Is this the Is this the guy?
I think that is.
This looks like the guy.
We're on IMDb right now because we do a lot of preparation.
Yeah,
before
we
this
went into
podcast.
this cold. And we saw the movie like 2 days ago, so yeah, that's totally the guy. His name's
Hannah.
Barry Bostwick.
What do I know him from?
I actually
He's
like
in,
this
like,
guy.
everything.
I can never put a name to him, but I see him everywhere. He was in the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
wow.
101 Dalmatians 2.
Whoa. Ooh. The most prestigious of the series.
Yeah, like
Move
that's the
over,
one
we
that
can have
everyone.
Bernie's
That's
too.
yeah.
We got a Bernie's
We got a
too.
new
That's
top
nothing.
dog.
That's the one everyone remembers.
101 Dalmatians.
Yeah.
So,
everyone
anyways,
remembers
this
that
guy,
one.
this guy's. We should go through the plot kind of fast.
Yeah, we're gonna pick
This
this up.
guy's. He's looking
Yeah.
for him,
So
and that plot's great.
yeah, so this one guy's like convinced that these two are responsible for the money disappearing, and he's like, so I'm gonna follow him around. Meanwhile, these two guys,
Yeah, the cartel guy goes to the voodoo cult,
yeah,
and the voodoo cult gets these two guys
Yeah, the
who
voodoo
I don't
cult-
know
yeah.
if they even have names.
no, they do have names. I'm gonna find them right now. Their names are Charles, and
These are really weird voodoo cult names. Is it
I think
Charles
Those
and
are, like-
Henry?
yeah, I think it might be Charles and Henry. That's
Yeah.
that's what I think. Yeah, it's definitely Charles and Henry.
Okay.
And anyway, so
Charles and Henry, the two best characters.
yeah,
in the movie.
these
Easily.
these shenanigans are unparalleled. I mean, these guys.
So, yeah, they get like mind controlled into going
Well,
to find.
yeah,
Bernie.
they get kind of tricked into going to find Bernie, or else they'll be turned into goats.
Yes.
Now that's important to remember later because that kind of comes into play.
It definitely does.
Yeah, in a big way. We're not gonna spoil anything for you, but
We're
it's,
gonna-
but
We're
their
not gonna
race,
spoil it.
their race against their goat transformation is it's like a
is-
gripping story. Really.
And then Richie and Larry, while being on the hunt from this private investigator, Larry cracks this scheme to use Bernie's identity to get the money because they think it's just in the bank.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like basically what happens is when they take Bernie back to the morgue after like they find his dead body, Larry gets wait, which one's Larry? And which
Larry's
like the crazy one with the shenanigans.
he's
Okay, so Larry signs off for Bernie's personal effects, and he gets like a key for a safety deposit box in the Virgin Islands, and he's like, holy shit, I bet there's a ton of money in here. And somehow he gets.
Yeah, no, that's another thing to gloss over. He just convinces Richie to go.
Yeah, Larry's just like, hey, you want to do something completely illegal? Do you want to go to jail?
And he's
for
like,
15
no.
years?
Well, because Richie's
And
like,
Richard's just like,
no,
wait,
and then
yes.
and then yeah, it's like, no, cut to them on a plane.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
The movie does a really great job of introducing like a plot point or an obstacle in front of them, cutting to the other storyline happening, and cutting back with that like new obstacle that they talked about in the last scene already solved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they're like,
It's
oh,
like-
we need to.
it's like it's
We
happening.
need to figure out a way to
It's-
get to the Virgin Islands, and then like cut to the other story, and then it'll
Cut
cut
to
back
they're in the
to them
Vir-
in the Virgin Islands.
It's like
It
the
happens
movie's happening
many
in real.
times.
It's like the movie's happening in real time.
Yeah,
Like
and we're missing half
we
the
went to
story.
the other story, so it's like we're missing what's happening in the other.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these two guys, Charles and Henry, the guys who were sent out by the witch doctor, they kidnapped Bernie's body from the morgue, and they like cast a spell on him to like animate his body. But they're supposed to like get a live chicken
But they use
for
a-
in a great scene. They're in the bathroom like setting up all these candles.
The bathroom of a porn theater.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're in
which
the
is
bathroom of
very
a porn
weird.
theater in like
Candlelit.
yeah in New York, candlelit. There's like 100 candles around them, and they're casting
117.
117 candles.
117.
They're
That's the
casting this
voodoo.
ritual, and they're like, we gotta put a live chicken in this body's arms while we do it. The chicken runs away when a guy opens the door, and they're just like, what the hell's wrong with you? And they're just standing there with a dead body and like all these candles around them, and this guy's like, oh, sorry. And he walks out. The chicken runs out with him, and they're like, damn, we're out of chicken.
Which,
So
by
they
the
get
way,
a pigeon.
quickly,
Well, they need to
that's not
quick,
even a
quick.
top 5 weirdest thing that's happened in a porn bathroom.
Oh,
Oh,
for sure
no.
not.
Like,
For sure
that's-
not.
That
like-
happens every
that's just
other
like
week.
A
that's
voodoo
more so like,
ritual?
oh, okay, I
A
guess
ritual
this is
to bring
happening.
That guy that
to
walked
animate a
in,
man's
ugh.
body? Certainly not.
No, yeah.
So they get a pigeon and do it instead, and I guess they realize that the pigeon somehow ruined their ceremony because they figure out that instead of Bernie's body just kind of getting up and moving on his own, he only gets up and moves on his own when there's music playing.
And they say it,
Specifically Caribbean music.
and they say it
Well,
like it's
I think
they
obvious.
say they don't say that, but it seems like there's only Caribbean music.
might be the only music that ever
this movie
exists.
takes place in a world where the only music that was ever invented was
is,
like
calypso.
calypso music.
and that's all the soundtrack music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
But okay,
excellent.
we have
This
to talk
movie,
about the
this
sequel.
movie is like you could just like if you were to make a dance party and someone would ask you what's like the best soundtrack, what's the best movie soundtrack to like set my dance music to, like hands down I would just instantly I would just be like Weekend at Bernie's 2. I mean that's a gimme. It's so good.
But the best part of the voodoo scene is like they use the pigeon, and then like the one guy's like, "We used a pigeon. That means he can only
Yeah.
do."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He's like, there's like
He's like,
rules.
wait a
He's like,
minute,
"Duh,
yeah.
of course we used the pigeon." Well,
He's holding the basketball rose and he's like, let's see, well, there's nothing in here that says a dog can't play basketball, but there is a rule that says if you use a pigeon instead of a chicken.
Can you imagine
your
if they used the
body-
rotisserie chicken?
Yeah,
would've
no,
just
that
been
was a
a
good
whole-
scene.
Great movie.
whole
And Bernie
movie.
turned into
yeah,
a
yeah,
rotisserie
'cause
chicken.
they go outside when they're looking for the pigeon, and there's like this long pan where they like look over at a
I wanted to
rotisserie
see
chicken.
that.
They're really
Yeah.
hinting at it.
So anyways, so like they have the body, and then they lose the body in the subway.
Yeah, they lose the body in the subway,
And
and
then-
then the police
Oh,
find the body.
the
He's
best
been
is
tagged.
the body's been tagged,
Yeah, and people
with like
stole all his
no,
clothes.
It's been tagged with like a Bible verse, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It was like
yeah.
it was like John 7:13.
Which
Yeah.
so, I like to think some like pastor was on and he's like, this guy needs to find God.
Yeah,
Let me
this
just-
guy. Hey,
let me
you need
remind
Jesus.
him.
Naked on the
Anyway,
subway.
so somehow, the police take him back to the morgue, and this is where Larry
really-
and Richard come back to the morgue, and they find the body, and this is when they take him and they get the key, or no. So this is the best part. So they're getting the body ready to go to the Virgin Islands.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, and they literally dress him up in an amazing outfit. The costumes in this movie are incredible, but we'll get to that later.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that
Um,
outfit later, but
Yeah, so they cram Bernie's body into a suitcase, and it's not a big
like,
suitcase.
It's a tiny.
It's like a large
It's a
suitcase.
standard suitcase.
It's
I
a
want to know
standard
how they
suitcase,
did that.
But you couldn't fit a man in there. No, this is what I want to. Yeah,
It's like, it has to
we
be a
should have.
fake,
This
right?
is one of the things we probably should look up before we start the podcast. Is like how they do this. But we're deep into it now, so it's
Yeah.
a little late for that. Anyway,
I my guess is it's like a doll, like it's like a
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a doll, but it's a damn
It's
good
very
looking doll
good.
because it looks like
and,
a guy.
and it's easy. I mean, because he's dead, so it's not like he has to
Yeah.
look lively.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so they cram Bernie into this suitcase in one of like the craziest moments in the movie, and they get him on a plane, and they're just I guess they just and then next thing we know, they're in the Virgin
no!
Islands.
There's a great scene real quick though because it's they're in the Virgin Islands and they're like dragging him through the airport and he hears the music and you see like little thumps like coming out of the suitcase.
He's just like, I want to get out. Also, the way Bernie moves in this movie is
incredible.
incredible.
We'll talk about that in a second because can we just? I just kind of want to skip to the greatest scene in the movie real quick because I don't know if anything even happened.
Are you talking about the conga line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no. Well, first we gotta mention how they fit him in that fucking fridge.
They get him, and then
they
take
get him
out
out of a suitcase and instantly just stuff this man into a fridge.
It's a lot like when you like make something like in like a meatloaf kind of thing, and you just sort of took it out and like plopped it into another thing.
It's like,
he retains
it's like,
the squish.
It's like, oh no, how do I get these peas onto this plate? And then they just like kind of flip them over. It's
Exactly.
Here's the great thing. I think it's actually, I kind of think it's purposeful because like in the first movie they try to like keep Bernie safe and prop him up, but I feel like at this point they've been around the dead Bernie body, but they just don't give like they like throw him around
in the fridge,
and
get
like
him out of
hit
sight.
him like
at this point he's really just a prop for their
antics. There's that scene where he's on the car and they grab him by the leg and just pull him off a moving car.
I mean, they destroy his body so much.
Like, everyone else kind of tries to keep him, but, like, at this point, Larry and Rich are just like, we're done.
That's the other thing. Bernie's body is indestructible.
Oh, my God.
They literally put this guy's dead body through hell, and it's fine. It's unscathed.
It's literally, like, perfect.
There's a scene where they shoot
Unmarked.
him. There's a scene where they shoot him through the head with an arrow, and then I guess they just pull it out later, and he's fine.
No, he just keeps it in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because in the end, you're right.
Okay, so, Larry and Rich are at the hotel, and
Larry's hitting on some girl, and he goes on a date with her.
And her dad does voodoo.
Yeah, that's gonna come in sort of later.
Small
world.
It's high stakes for Larry.
The world of voodoo is a small world.
Oh
yes.
yeah, well, we don't know that. That's a twist, man. Come on. Spoilers already. Okay.
But yeah, he's
it's
really
a good thing
bad.
you mentioned though, because I completely forgot about that part.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
So Rich is at home. He's supposed to be watching the body, but it's just in the fridge. But outside, there's a party going on.
Yeah,
and
there's
that
a
beautiful
sweet party going on.
Caribbean music.
Yeah, it coaxes Bernie out of his
now,
hiding spot.
We can go back. The outfit in the morgue, he's naked, and so Larry has the idea that if Rich will let him use the extra clothes he brought, he will put them on the naked Bernie body, and the outfit that they put on Bernie.
Yeah, he's wearing like this. He's wearing like this,
God!
It's like a white and like turquoise like windbreaker.
Yeah.
With like some track
with
pants.
like matching track.
Yeah,
pants.
I don't know how they worked that out. And then they stole some shoes from the guy who's working at the morgue, and he's asleep. He's asleep on a gurney, and then literally he just gets up. No, Richard is taking his shoes off because he thinks it's a dead body, and the guy just leans up and screams, and then knocks his head on a thing and falls right back to sleep.
But
and they're just like, oh well, I guess we'll just steal this guy's
and he has a sick fitted on too.
Yeah, Bernie is.
So
he's with a
crazy bill. He's looking extra crispy. And he pops out the fridge.
Bernie is looking like Chevy Chase right off the set of Caddyshack.
Yeah,
he looks great.
He looks so good. So and we all kind of knew because there's this couple outside at the party. The girl wants to dance. The guy is being kind of a dick.
Yeah, there's a girl trying to dance in this guy with this accent like, come on, I don't want to dance. Dancing's not my thing.
Sucks.
That guy.
If you dance, I fucking hate you.
And anyway, she's like, you're no fun. So she leaves and she gets into the party.
And
Bernie's kind of bopping
he's
around.
like behind the bushes, and he's like bopping.
Bernie starts walking.
And by the way, I mean, I think everyone. The way Bernie walks in this movie is amazing. I can't even.
He does this. I mean, if you've ever seen anyone do the Bernie dance, that's what that.
But
that's what
walking.
That's from this movie, and it's like his little kind of stroll.
He's got
this
head
bob.
He's got this little. He kind of shakes his head and like kind of shimmies his shoulders.
But it's the
really
best.
He kind of sways.
The best 4 seconds in this movie is he gets out the fridge. He's outside, and the girl goes to the conga line, and Bernie's like walking like behind the bushes, and then it cuts to a shot of like the girl in the conga line, and Bernie's walking, and he just like snaps and stares her down, and you're like, Bernie's about to steal this guy's girl so hard. He sees her, and he gets a little smile, and he's bopping over.
Yeah, Bernie's he comes right through and steals his girl. It's awesome.
Oh my, this is the best. I mean, no, you can't just sum it up as that. It's so good. The guy gets mad and like he like tries to hit Bernie and he spins Bernie around. Bernie slaps him in the face.
Bernie spins down and catches him right in the hand with like a right
his
hook.
arm like
Not once,
flaps,
but twice.
Yeah, and then he's flipping around again, and he slaps him the other time, and then so the dude punches Bernie in the face, and he just falls over, but then he's like bops back up. And
Yeah, he just keeps getting back up.
It's so
And eventually
good.
the guy leaves him alone, and Bernie falls asleep on the beach with the girl because
With
the
the
music
girl,
stops.
yeah, they're
Yes.
together.
Anyway, so we go back to Richard and Larry, and
Oh my
Larry
God.
comes back, and they're just like, "You lost the fucking body." Anyway, they go down to the beach, and they find him just lying there with the girl, and they're just like,
Still
"Well,"
looking
yeah,
extra
still
crispy.
very
they're just
nice.
like, "Well, we'll take him back now." Anyway, so
And we
they-
never see her again.
Yeah, we never
so,
see her again.
So Bernie just ruined the relationship.
She takes
and then
the
just
hat
bops
and
away.
leaves.
Yeah, she takes the hat.
So anyway,
which is
we
lame.
get. So I guess the next part they're going to the bank with Bernie to get his. Oh no! First they go to that store to find clothes they can
And-
put on Bernie
oh.
so they can like manipulate his arms and stuff
Yeah.
while they're in the bank. And they run into the guy who's hunting them down.
Yeah, the investigator.
The investigator guy, and this investigator keeps seeing Bernie and going insane.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Like,
just
this
yelling
guy
at
is-
Bernie and comically taking photos.
Yeah,
of
he's
just,
he's taking photos of them the whole time in like
Yeah.
the creepiest way. Like he's
And again,
everywhere.
this is another moment because this basically this exact plot line is in Weekend at Bernie's 1. But
Yeah,
in Weekend
yeah.
but in Weekend at Bernie's 2, it's so much funnier.
In Weekend at Bernie's one, it's a guy trying to kill them. Now it's just this guy like documenting their journey almost. Like he's just taking pictures of their
Yeah,
vacation.
he's trying to catch them like using the money, like.
Yeah,
But he never. But like, unlike Weekend at Bernie, like he's never a real threat at any point, and like they
Yeah.
introduce him like he's going to be an actual character, and then he's just
Yeah,
Daffy
and then
Duck.
all he does is
He's just Daffy Duck.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
all he does is just pay for their crimes. Like he just kind of like they'll do some crazy shit and he'll get caught for it, and it's that kind of repeats several times until eventually he loses his mind and is carted away. But so at this point the two guys have come back from New York, like the two guys who
Oh,
put the
but
spell.
it's important to know that when in New York, they're like, "Oh, let's just stop doing this."
Yeah.
And then he starts buying.
Yeah, he starts making goat noises, and they're like, "Oh shit! It seems like this shit's kind of real. We should probably like."
Which, by the way, how are they? Oh, they're looking for the carnival. That's why they're there in the first
Well,
place.
they want to get to the carnival. They came to the Bahamas or the Virgin Islands just like, yeah, we're gonna hang out at the carnival, and then they're like,
And
no,
like,
you're going to New York, and
Well,
they're
like they
oh,
think
man,
the
we gotta
voodoo
get back
cult
to
is the carnival. I think.
No, the carnival.
no, the carnival's happening.
Yeah, the carnival happens.
That's why everyone's
Why do they end up
The
at
carnival
the
happens
carnival?
at the end of the movie.
No, I'm saying like they're looking for the carnival, but they think the voodoo cult because they like come in and try to dance with all the people.
Oh
This is
yeah,
a very
that
good-
does happen.
Is
So,
that
like,
what happened?
No, I think that's
what-
just a throwaway
No, I
joke.
think that's what their motivation is because they're not like voodoo people. They're just two
They're like
dudes.
Jamaican gangsters.
Yeah,
or
there's
something.
like two dudes. I
No,
don't-
they're not even from
Yeah, I
Jamaica.
think
They're from
there's
New York.
guys.
From New
Yeah,
York.
they like flew them in from New York to do this job.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
they're
even
like,
know
we
why
just
they're
got
involved.
here. I know. I literally think they think the voodoo place is the carnival.
I think. Well, maybe I think they have. I think maybe they also have something to do with the cartel. Because otherwise they would.
Maybe.
I
know
It's too
'cause
weird.
They
It's
fly
too
in.
weird that they're
but,
just
no,
strangers.
but there's like fly in looking for the carnival.
Well, yeah, but maybe I don't know. Anyway, so the point is, these guys get back to the Virgin Islands and they find the body in like a Jeep that Richard and Larry have been driving around in with Bernie, and Larry and Richard are in this store getting some clothes for Bernie. And these guys just snatch him right out of the truck. And when they get out, they see these guys driving away with the body. And literally, they just run up behind it and grab his legs and just pull him out
they
of the
just
car.
like scoop him out of the car. And
Yeah.
it's like
One of the
head,
better
like,
shots.
slams
Yeah,
the
that's one of the
comedically.
better parts. That's one of the parts where Bernie's brain should be all over the ground,
Yeah,
but they're not.
John lost it at that part too.
Yeah.
We were watching it. One of the guys we were watching with, who also really wanted to be on the podcast, John, absolutely lost it during this part. Like, popped off super hard. Popped off almost harder than when I popped off when Bernie stole that guy's girl. Because I literally jumped out of my chair when Bernie stole that guy's girl.
So anyway, some more shenanigans kind of happen, and then the two like Henry and
Steve?
no way is his name Steve.
Oh, no,
Someone with
Steve's the guy who
Steve.
plays him. Charles is
Charles.
the guy.
Charles and
That's it.
Henry, they catch back up to them and they take him to the voodoo guys, and the voodoo cult's just like, hey, look, you two are gonna die if we don't get the. Oh no, they lose the body. I'm getting ahead of myself. First,
They
what
lose the
happens is
body.
They lose the body in some somehow they're driving and the body hears this music. Like Bernie he's sitting in the back of their car, and meanwhile this tourist bus is going by, and they're playing some. Of course, they're playing some calypso music because that's
Of course, because that's all. That's the
Bernie-
only
Bernie
music.
Bernie
It's the only
catches
music that
wind of this-
exists.
Bernie catches wind of this, and when they stop the car to go, I think they're going to talk to that one girl's dad about the body.
The girl that Larry's hitting on.
Anyway, so they lose the body, and
They get it
and
back.
But
But as soon as they get it back, Henry and Charles like catch up to him.
no, that's before they get it back.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because the guys are
Oh
like, you guys
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
get the
yeah.
body.
Okay.
So yeah, so they get taken
I'm
to
done.
talk to the voodoo priestess lady, and she's all like, if you don't find this body in like predetermined
It's
amount-
one
yeah,
day.
it's in one day, you're gonna die because she cast a spell on them. Anyway, so they have to go find the body, and they find it pretty quickly. Actually, they look for like
Really,
there's like a scene
you
of them
think
looking
this is
for
gonna be
5
like
minutes.
intense, and then there's like
And then this is one of the best scenes is when these people, someone's like parasailing or whatever.
Yes.
And Bernie's leg gets wrapped up in the parachute or something, or it's like, what is it? It's like a parachute.
Yeah, the harness.
Yeah, and he's like hoisted up, and like his body is flying through the air. Meanwhile, these two girls are sitting on the beach in bikinis, and he's just dragged by them, and he just kind of grabs their tops right off. And
Because Bernie is so sick.
Even in death, Bernie is
Even in death, he stole some guy's
He's the
girl.
man, yeah.
He's taking girls' tops off. He's the life.
And
of
other
the
people are
party.
getting blamed for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and the investigator, because he has the camera and he's taking pictures.
Yeah, the girls run up and
investigator
they're
gets
just like,
the
hey,
blame.
what the fuck? And
Rightfully so. He's kind of pervy.
Yeah, no, he deserves it.
Takes
Like,
photos of girls anyway.
Also, no, but that's the part where Bernie like runs right into that guy. Like that guy's just standing on the beach, and Bernie just nails him.
yeah, and like
that's-
so
yeah.
he's going crazy because he thinks Bernie's alive still now.
Yeah.
But so
And he's getting blamed for this.
So anyway, so they get Bernie's body back, and he's running around, and he's starting to walk towards the water, and like, where's Bernie going? And they realize he's trying to get in the water, but
Did we establish the map yet?
Not
fuck the
yet.
map. The map's not
Okay,
important at all.
no, because I want to point out that the map isn't important.
They literally
They go to the security
Yeah,
box.
they get the safety deposit box and they open it, and there's just nothing inside but like a note card that's got like a tiny map on it.
And
Like,
then
this
It's
is
not even a
useless.
map. It's like scribbles
Yeah,
on a
and
note
like,
card.
Yeah, it's
you
just
think-
arrows that go in
You
a
think
circle.
they're gonna like use the map, but they don't.
Yeah, they just toss it out immediately. We pretty much never hear about it again.
It really just gives them something to do. Like,
Yeah.
while the beast.
It's
No,
almost
it's like they're just like, this movie is
And like,
movie's an hour and 17 minutes. We need to get it up to theatrical length, so let's just have this.
well, like, I mean, that's the reason they go to the islands too. Like, it gives them a reason to be there. It's a very weak
I
reason.
guess it gives them a reason to be there, but why make it a map? Why not just make it a?
Nothing.
Well, I guess if it wasn't a map, then they'd have no idea that the money was hidden.
It's just really.
Anyway,
It's
so
really
they
not
realize that they need to
important.
put music on Bernie's head, and to get him to walk underwater. So they get these like waterproof headphones on
Oh,
him.
we have to set up the submarine though.
Oh yeah.
So the
meanwhile-
investigator got arrested.
Yeah, he
for
gets arrested.
perving on the girls, and the police officer is like, "Hey man, I'm gonna let you go. Just enjoy, be a tourist, enjoy the sights. Don't be a crazy
he's
guy."
like, you're going crazy, man. Get some rest, relax.
You're
You'll
in
be
paradise.
fine later. Yeah.
So
he's
he
like, "You're in
starts-
paradise."
The investigator starts doing touristy things, and he's on this submarine tour, which I don't even think that's a
I've never
thing.
heard of that.
I don't know if that's a thing at
That's
all.
probably like I'm sure in like SeaWorld you can do something like that.
Yeah.
But-
But SeaWorld is also one of the shittiest organizations on
That's
the face
true.
of the earth.
Yeah, it's basically just a prison.
But yeah, they fuck
Um,
and they have you seen that documentary with, like, the killer whales in SeaWorld that like have killed people and they still leave them like in tanks?
Blackfish.
Blackfish.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You know what?
no.
I'm meaning to watch that. Huh.
And
It's
they-
a pretty dark film.
it's pretty dark. Not
Rainy
because it's called
day.
Blackfish.
Uh,
It's just dark.
but you know what? Another movie that deals with an aquatic death. Weekend at Bernie's 2.
That's true.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know what? We should do a podcast about Weekend at Bernie's too.
The water element is important, and it's happening right now. I think in the plot.
Yes.
Are we talking about?
Yeah, this
Yes.
is where we're in the sub, and
So we're in the sub.
and
This isn't
so,
Blackfish.
So Ricky and Larry are taking Bernie underwater, like to
And
find
the voodoo
treasure.
girl.
Yeah, and,
Voodoo-
and
yeah.
she's
young
there for some reason.
young girl
Yeah,
that Larry
they're
is
scuba
in love
diving
with.
with like harpoon guns for some reason in case they need to protect themselves from something. And Bernie's just kind of bopping around underwater, and they're following him. And then meanwhile, this sub is going by them. Guess who's on the sub?
Me-
It's the investigator guy, of
Who's
course.
doing touristy things.
Yeah, none other than
He's having a good
investigator
time
guy.
for once.
And he's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy myself for once. He's looking out the sub window, and who does he see walking on the bottom of the ocean floor? He sees Bernie, and he starts to lose his shit.
He's like,
let me out of the sub.
He's like, I'm stopping the sub.
Yeah,
like he like tries to take over
the sub, and like, in the middle, like 50 feet underwater or something. Anyway, so they find the treasure with Bernie.
Which, by the way, I just think it's weird. I think it's weird that Bernie just kind of like threw it at the bottom of the ocean.
I bet he went down there and scuba diving and hid it there.
I guess it's just kind of.
It's just in a suitcase underwater.
Especially especially since there's like tours going by, like no one saw it. Like it just seems like come on, Bernie.
Anyway, so they get at this point though, Larry shoots Bernie in the head by accident with a harpoon gun, destroying his headphone thing. So Bernie's body just dies. Or he goes limp, and
because he can't hear the music.
Yeah, because the music's gone, and then they just kind of drag Bernie and the box up to the surface,
and Bernie can't let go of the box.
Yeah, his hands are stuck in the box. So it's like, well, now we got to bring Bernie and this box all the way to the
What was their plan beforehand, by the way? Just to leave Bernie down there in the bottom of the ocean?
No, I feel like I want to believe that at this point they're kind of attached to Bernie. Yeah, they're like, Bernie's our friend.
Yeah, but also this guy tried to kill them too, in the first movie.
Yeah, but he's a different person now. Bernie's reformed.
He's dead.
Exactly. He's a very different character. Bernie,
Bernie
ever since Bernie dies,
he's conga line.
Ever since Bernie dies, he's been nothing but a friend to them.
He's been great. He's been great.
He's pretty much the reason that all the good things that happened to them throughout the course of the two movies happened.
Yeah, their lives kind of suck at the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah, but when the movie starts, they're just kind of two losers in New York, and by the end of it, they're like awesome, and then by the end of the first one, or in the beginning of the second one, they're losers again, I guess, and by the end, they're rich.
Yeah, and also Richard's girlfriend just gone.
Yeah, so we kind of just reset entirely. That's
the only, there's not even, if I'm correct, there's not even like a throwaway line. She died.
No. Yeah. I don't think, to be honest, I don't know, man. I feel like maybe they're not over anyway, because, look, if we talk about this chronologically...
Well, it's not like Richard's trying to get with... Well, no, he is, though, because he sees the one go up the Congo line and, Congo's with her.
Oh, you're right.
Either Richard's a scumbag, or they're done, or she's dead.
Anyway, so...
What happens in St. Thomas stays in St. Thomas.
Yeah, so they're just like, oh my god, Richard's dying. How do we get back to the... We're going to have to get back to the voodoo call pretty fast.
At this point.
Yeah, and what do? They literally hook up Bernie to a fucking...
Cart.
Yeah, cart, and they get Bernie to, drag them... Basically.
And this movie's, through and through, we haven't really been touching it. Through and through, this movie's some pretty fucking great slapstick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All throughout the movie.
We're gonna circle around and get back to that.
Okay.
So anyway, they get to the voodoo priest.
Because we're already, 40 minutes in, by the way.
All right, yeah,
35
that's fine.
minutes.
Okay, so they get to the voodoo priest, and this lady's just like, oh, okay, well, you got the money, but we're just gonna let you die anyway, because you guys suck.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the police show up right then, and they kind of stop everyone. And
she gets knocked out. She doesn't say you guys suck.
Oh, you're right. She gets knocked out.
No, you just made that. She's not that bad.
No, I was blanking on what happened.
You're trying to blame her for a lot of things.
Well, she kind of reminds me of my own voodoo priest.
Yeah.
Mother.
See, he is. It's a bad past for Wyatt with voodoo priestesses.
Yeah, this brings out a lot of dark memories. Anyway, So anyway, she gets knocked out by Bernie when they come careening down a hill in this cart, and Bernie just fucking punts her in the face. And
I know, he punches her in the face, and then he has that smug Bernie look.
Yeah,
he stares at her. He's like,
he's always got this little smirk on. He's like, yeah. Anyway,
I did that.
So anyway, Richard's dying, and then the girl's dad, who's a witch doctor or something, comes down, and he's like, oh no, we gotta save Richard. We gotta get this curse off him, and he's like, well, we can, but we need the blood of a virgin. And this is where Larry up, and he
walks away, and he's like, ooh.
Yeah, he's like, ooh.
I literally thought that the big climax of this movie was Larry not wanting to admit he's a virgin.
That's basically what happened.
But it's it happens so fast.
It takes for 2. Yeah,
it takes 2 seconds. I thought it was gonna be a 3-minute scene.
Anyway, so Larry finally admits he's a virgin in what is probably one of the hardest moments.
That's the biggest emotional payoff.
Yeah, because we know that the only thing worse than death is being a virgin.
And
that's been thoroughly established in this movie.
That's debatable, too.
Well, no, I'm saying that's according to the logic of this movie.
Yeah, but I'm saying even within the logic of this movie, because Bernie gets it even when he's dead.
Oh, you're right.
Wow.
So sex is more important than being alive.
I'm not following you there, but I see what you're
According to the
saying.
movie. I'm just saying.
Whatever. Okay, anyway.
Bernie's dead and he can still get it. Larry's alive, can't get it.
Okay, so,
But Bernie's the man.
Bernie's the
Bernie
man.
is the man.
Yeah,
think
no.
If Larry
Well,
were dead,
because
then
Bernie,
maybe he'd have a better shot.
Bernie also got it when he was alive,
Yeah.
to be fair, so.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so they're alive. Bernie is just kind of walking through the street with two goats who happen to be the dudes Charles and Henry, who failed in their mission. And
Yeah, which, by the way, that's
ultimately
a very...
turned into ghosts.
That's
Yeah,
kind
turned
of
into
like,
ghosts.
what do they do to deserve
They
that
didn't
as
do anything.
characters?
I liked those.
They're the
guys.
best characters easily.
And they just get turned into ghosts.
Yeah, and they're just turned into ghosts like that.
Their adventures, we kind of glossed over their adventures because they're like the least important part of the movie.
Yeah, they
But
really
they're
don't.
very,
They really
very
don't make.
fun. They don't really do
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, they're kind of responsible for some pretty crucial moments.
well,
but
they
at the
also...
same
They
time-
throw Bernie out a window.
That
Oh,
part's great.
that part
Okay,
is
we're gonna
great.
talk about that shit.
Alright,
So
alright.
anyway, in the very end of the movie,
Do you want to take... Okay,
in
tell...
the very end of the movie, Richard is kind of like ribbing Larry for being a virgin, and they're sitting on this beautiful yacht in like a wicker love seat, just enjoying everything. And these hot girls come out
And they
they're
have
just
all
like,
the
"We're your
money."
crew." Yeah, they have all the money for some reason. The police are just like, "Oh, you found it. It's yours. We're not gonna totally seize this as like crime scene evidence. It's yours." Anyway, so yeah, and basically the movie ends right there with them being rich and being awesome, and everything's great. And Bernie's doing his thing. He's dancing in the carnival. He's having a great time.
Investigator guy's like...
Investigator
being
guy
treated.
who's gone insane, and he's basically being straitjacketed and sent away to like some mental hospital in the Virgin Islands.
Alright,
And
since
the
we're
end,
done with the
credits.
plot, do you want to take a quick break and then come back and
Yeah.
talk about the rest?
Can't find no better words. And what I see in front of me is so beautiful it hurts. I hold my breath forever. I'll do anything at all to put time in our bottle, to hold in without a wall.
Welcome back.
All right, so
Alright, so
Alright, the break was weird.
so now
The break was weird,
the
that's all
break
we're
was
gonna
a
say.
weird moment, I know. Oh my god, the cops came in.
Oh my
Anyway.
God. And anyways,
don't get me started.
Anyway, so we're gonna kind of like talk about our favorite moments in the movie because we just kind of did not brief summary.
yeah,
we kind of
basically
took
talked
a
about the
minute.
whole movie.
We're gonna have to kind of pace ourselves better in the future. We're gonna get good at this.
We'll be good. Our breaks will be better.
Yeah, our breaks will be better. There'll be less shenanigans.
There wasn't a
in
break,
between.
by the way. The break was 2 seconds.
Anyway,
Good talking about the break.
so
We had a
First
long
rule of
debate.
break.
We had a-
First rule of
we had a-
break,
we had
don't
a-
talk about
we had
break.
a long
About the break.
debate about whether or not we should talk about the break.
do not talk about the
Okay,
break.
let's stop talking about the break then.
Okay,
It was weird.
so anyway, first I want to go back and talk about the part where Charles and Henry like resurrect Bernie in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
so
It's
good.
And the
easily
part,
the best part.
the scene where he starts to kind of twitch and get up off the toilet, you're just like, oh my god, oh here
Yeah,
it
no,
comes.
at that point, because I was like bored
Yeah.
a little bit in the movie at that point.
Yeah.
Then that starts happening, and you're like, this is the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's when his moves really start to pick up. Like that's a great
Yeah.
scene. Okay, whoever's playing Bernie, I'm gonna look him up right now. But whoever's playing him is.
Do you
an
think he's
incredible-
actually moving? Do you think it's actually him?
Oh, that's 100% him. Phenomenal.
Terry
acting.
Kisser. Okay,
I'd like
to-
I'll give
I'd
you
like
this,
to
I'll give you
kiss
this.
him.
No, look, I'll give you this, Hiatt. A lot of they're definitely a dummy a lot of times in the movie, but that is not a dummy.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
man.
He's just so. I'm like,
He's so
I
talented.
can't imagine he's that talented. I can't.
Oh.
He's if that's
He has to
actually
be.
him, he's literally the most talented human
Yeah,
being
he's
I've ever seen.
incredible. He's so good.
Because
at it.
even he acts for like 2 minutes in the first movie, and it's great. He does a great job as Bernie.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's just got these moves that are
Yeah.
incredible, and he's so good. Like it's really hard to pretend you're dead, and that sounds silly because
Especially
it's
with all the
really,
shit he has to do while
it's
he's
'cause
dead.
It's like
Yeah.
really you're just lying there doing nothing, but he's doing it so well.
Well,
like,
no. But, like-
he's so limp and like he's so
Here's the thing.
like
It's hard to be dead when you're just lying there. But to be dead in the way where he's like constantly moving still, like, even in the
Yeah.
first movie.
no, but I'm saying like when you're a dead body and people are like moving you around in your movie, you gotta like naturally kind of like move with them. You can't just be like, it's not like people are turning you over and then you're just like, and then your arms like wrench the other way, you know? Like
Yeah.
you have to like
No, he does such a good.
like he looks like a dead body the
Yeah.
whole time.
And
What's great about the bathroom voodoo scene, for me at least, is I've never seen the first Weekend at Bernie's.
Ooh.
So I went into this completely cold. And so the first like part was just like nonsense to me. You know, they're going back and forth.
Yeah, no one.
From New York to St. Thomas. You know, there's these two characters. I don't know. I didn't know anything that was going on. And then that scene was the point where I was like, okay,
yeah,
I can latch onto this. I understand what's gonna happen, and I get where this is going from that point on. So that was like the beginning of the movie.
And I will say, second week in a row, just to address the kind of the meta-ness of the second week in a row, we watched a good movie.
I know, that's the other thing. This was supposed to be a bad movie.
No, I think it's hilarious. I had a great time.
And yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
and
think
so
everybody
far
did.
we've had nothing but gems.
Yeah, no, in terms of physical comedy, like this is actually
This is
well done.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Weekend at Bernie's 2 is a romp for the whole family.
I mean,
can't
will
say
give
that.
it-
I can't stress that
Okay,
enough.
so like the vacation movies are like well thought of critically, right? To some extent, like the first two.
You mean like Lampoon's Vacation?
Yeah, like Vacation.
I'm gonna say
Christmas
Family Vacation is. I don't know if Christmas Vacation is thought of good, but I do love that movie.
But like
I
I
think of
put
it.
this up there with that. Like Christmas Vacation is like a beloved movie though.
Yeah, people.
Weekend at
know
Bernie's
and
2
love
is
that
not,
movie.
but I'd put this just
Yeah.
right up there.
yeah, me too. No,
Like,
it's
this
on
is
a
just as
different
good as
level
that.
because it's a little less. I mean, Christmas Vacation. That's like a raunch movie,
Yeah.
especially for its time. Like,
Oh yeah.
but
I'm like, I guess I'm saying like that's like a comparable movie.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
This
And
movie
like this is just Weekend at Bernie's 2 is just as good
this
as like
movie
that.
has all of the. You derive all of the joy from this movie as you do from any of those.
Well,
classic
the one thing I will say, like,
Exactly.
I guess like Christmas Vacation and like that era, like they have like pretty good like Weekend at Bernie's 2, you don't really laugh at the dialogue often.
No, it's
No,
very
it's-
good physical
very
comedy.
It's
situational
very like
comedy, yeah.
situational and
Yeah.
very physical. It's a lot of people reacting to things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's this, like I was gonna say, it's like the slapstick's dream. I mean,
Yeah.
you have a body who you can do anything
Yeah,
with,
you
and no one's
basically
gonna
have a
feel
rag
bad
doll.
about
Yeah,
it.
you have a rag doll that you can just abuse and
You know,
it's
and
everyone's
very-
gonna laugh at
it is a very like Looney Tunes concept.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I feel like Larry and Richard don't do half a bad job either.
No,
I like
they
those
they
guys. I
truly
like those guys. They really deliver.
Larry does a real good
Yeah.
job.
Larry
'Cause
is
he's
like
supposed
this-
to be slimy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Larry's
exactly.
slimy, and he's just like he has no moral compass,
Yeah.
and he's like at the same time, and he's kind of a dick in a lot of ways, but for some reason you kind of like him. Like he's a likable
You're
character
rooting
at the
for
end of
him.
the And at the end of the day, he saves his friend's life by admitting he's
By
a
swallowing
virgin.
his
Yeah.
pride.
By
yeah.
swallowing his pride.
That's
and
his whole
admitting he's a
character.
virgin.
That's
and
actually
that's
like
almost like a
good-
redemption
that's actually
for
like
him.
a moment for his character.
Yeah, he's an actual arc.
It's
Really.
a good arc too.
Yeah.
Like,
Because Richard doesn't really have an
Richard
arc.
doesn't have his arc, but he had his arc in the last movie, so
Yeah.
he's
Fine,
taken
which is what I
his turn.
assumed.
His
'Cause he
arc
takes the backseat on
okay,
this
but
one for
his
sure.
arc in the last movie is just like
No,
I
he
want
has
to
a
ask
great
out
arc
this
in the last
girl.
movie. No, he learned to stop lying to her. Because in the
That's
beginning
true.
of the movie, he's like, "Look at this fabulous apartment. Oh, that drowsy man who looks like my dad over there. That's just the butler." And then
You're right.
And then
Okay,
by the end of the movie, he's like, "No nonsense. We found a dead body. We're pretending."
to be
he's
fair
ours."
though, when he's on that date with her in the first movie, she literally has a line that's like, "Wouldn't it suck if you lived with your parents?"
Yeah, no. So I totally understand why he's
Like
why
that
he
one
likes
makes
her.
sense. Like
I don't condone it, but I totally understand why
Yeah,
he would
like,
lie to her.
you know what I fucking hate? People who live with their parents.
Okay, but this is not a Weekend at Bernie's 1 show. This is a Weekend at Bernie's 2 show right now. And also, I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit more about the guy, the investigator guy.
He's great.
He like we didn't really talk about his arrests very much. Like first, he's in the clothing store.
Yeah, and he
And
sees Bernie.
well, first let's go back and talk about some of his shots with the camera.
This
Like
is
he
very-
literally, there's like it gets as crazy as there's parts where, like, when Bernie's in the Congo line and Richard's in the Congo line, where this guy is you'll just like the movie will just cut to like a shot of a palm tree and he'll just kind of duck out, take a picture, and then duck back in, or like he'll creep up from underneath the
Yeah.
shot. It's so creepy. Like this
Yeah.
guy is everywhere.
It's very like the classic like around the corner shot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that like
He's like-
copied and pasted
like,
as many different
I
ways as
expect
they
to
can
hear
do
like
it.
a slide whistle. It's like
Yeah.
You're literally waiting for a slide whistle to like initiate this guy's entrance.
Yeah, no, and so he's in the store, and that time he tried to leave with the clothes
No,
on.
because Richard and Larry came in, and he's like, "Oh shit, they can't see me." So he grabs something. He grabs a mannequin, and he just runs into the
Oh yeah,
dressing room.
no, wait. The woman's like, "What are you using that for?" And he
And he's
gives
just
her this look. He's just like,
Yeah, he's just like,
Excuse me?
Yeah, excuse me?
So
like,
great.
I can do whatever the fuck I want. And then
he
anyway,
can't.
yeah,
Spoiler
so
alert,
he
he
starts
can't.
putting on like a woman's cardigan sweater or whatever. And he tries to like Larry and Richard are leaving and he tries to like run out the store after them and everyone's like, "Hey, get back here, he's shoplifting." The police like tackle him and take this man in. And then I guess he's gone. The second time is when we already talked about this, but Bernie like nails him on the beach while he's flying around.
But we didn't talk about
parachute.
He ends up at the very end when they have the money and they go back to the woman. The police go to check things out, and it's the police car that he's in.
Yeah, the police drive in like right after Larry and Richard arrive, like the voodoo cult ruined like their headquarters or whatever, and the police show up right behind them with the investigator guy in the back seat of their car, and he sees Bernie again and is just shitting his pants in fear.
Yeah, at this point he's like loopy because he was injected.
He was shot up with
heroin.
It was heroin. Kind of basic,
morphine.
it was basically heroin this dude gave him, and at this point he keeps seeing Bernie. Look, no, I think he sees him once before again, like when they're driving down the road down that hill, and they're on the cart with Bernie.
Yeah.
I think they see him again at that point.
We might want to take one more quick break and then wrap up.
All right.
Okay, so we'll be right back after this.
All right, welcome back. I wanted to say that I'm kind of in a tropical mood, or I'm like in a weird place with my movie watching right now. Because before we watch this, I had just seen Mystics in Bali, which is another movie I recommend.
That's one you want
a
us
movie
to do
we
eventually.
might do. I don't know.
I don't know. Your exact quotes were to everyone there. I don't think you're ready for this.
Look, Hiatt. You know how we were talking about maybe doing another podcast this Sunday if I get back early? That
just
might be
me and you.
Yeah, just me and you. We can watch that.
Okay.
And that movie is something.
Do you really think it wouldn't play well to?
Look, the thing about that group is that movie it's kind of slow, like pace wise. It moves at like it starts kind of slow and then it really speeds up.
And we've watched some slow movies together.
Yeah, so I don't know if they have the attention span for that, but I know you can hear it.
Sorry, that was a sick burn though.
It's true. I mean,
yeah, no, people were bored at the start of this movie.
Yeah, and we were literally like 10 minutes in, and people were already like looking at their phones, and then Bernie started dancing, and instantly the phones burst into flames in their hands.
But yeah, no, we addressed this 2 good movies in a row. Really 3, because I think Deathbed was at least enjoyable too.
Yeah.
So we really had 3.
We didn't really talk about it, but we brought it up.
We brought it up, but I mean, we watched Deathbed last week too, and that was like entertaining.
Yeah, that was a good time.
And it was an hour and like 10 minutes, which was
And
perfect.
I know people are going to be listening, like terrible cinema snobs. Well, they're not going to be listening to this, but if somehow one of them stumbled across this show and was just like, ugh, you people and your terrible movies, like, listen, look, this is my personal belief is that like good movies and bad movies are really like 2 sides of like the same spectrum. Like you know, on your one hand, you have movies. See, to me, what makes a good movie is really whether or not it's predictable. Like, if a movie is really good, you don't really know where it's going.
There are like good predictable movies, I think.
Like what?
Well, like you can watch a movie that's just fun and is predictable.
The thing is, to me,
okay, like I knew the ending of Elf.
Well, Elf is just a well-written movie.
Yeah, but that's predictable.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, okay, you're right about that. What I'm just saying is, like,
I don't know. Wait, by the way, I don't know why Elf was the first movie.
Yeah, that's what a weird thing to go back to.
This is like Elf. I knew the ending to Elf.
Let's see. What's the first movie I think of when I wake up every day? Elf.
And if anyone talks about movies, I'm like, Elf is a movie.
Yeah. Elf is the movie I've seen.
I've seen that movie. No, because in like elementary school, middle school, and high school, like if any teacher wanted to be the cool teacher when they showed a movie, it'd always be Elf, because like it's like borderline, like it's like a raunchy kids comedy kind of, like not raunchy, but they have like, you know, it's not like watching Rudolph. It's not like watching Rudolph. So every teacher that wanted to be cool would be like, I'll put on Elf. So I've seen Elf like at least 7 times.
Oh yeah, I've seen that movie more times than I care to remember.
Oh yeah.
But well, see now you totally side. Oh no, yeah. Now I remember what I was saying. Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like you know, when you can totally see when a movie is just a cardboard cutout of another movie, even if it's a cardboard cutout of a good movie, you're just like, oh, like this is boring. Like I've seen this before. Like when you know what's gonna happen, like scene for scene, you might as well just turn it off.
A good movie for me is just how much fun I have watching it.
No, this is what I'm not talking. I'm saying conventionally good movies. Like what I'm saying is, when you look at a bad movie, like a really shitty movie, and you're just like, there's shitty movies that are so predictable because you're just like, oh, John Cena, the Marine. Oh, where have I seen this before?
What are these examples that are coming up?
Is this just a bad Born Identity? Is that what this is? And you watch it and you're just like, yeah, it was just a bad Born Identity.
Okay, but you're watching.
But then you watch then you watch a crazy bad movie and you're just like, oh, is this just a bad Born Identity? Wait a minute, John Cena's turning into a robot. He's flying into the moon, and then you're like, this movie's incredible.
But like, yeah.
To me, a bad movie.
I actually think.
Let me rephrase what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're.
Okay, I'm not saying good movies are only good because they can surprise you, but I'm saying a shitty movie is only good when it can just blow your expectations away.
Okay, so you're saying like, if we're watching a bad movie for Groovy Movies, a predictable, boring, stock movie isn't going to do it.
Yeah, we don't want a movie that's like... We don't want like your Troll 3s where you're just like, oh, it's Troll 2
We want Fateful Findings.
Yeah, we want Fateful Findings. We want movies that I couldn't even fathom how Fateful... I saw the trailer for Fateful Findings, and I still didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah, no.
And the same thing goes for this movie. I'd seen this movie before, like years ago, and I'd forgotten a lot about it. And watching it again, like almost with fresh eyes, like I remember like so many parts that I just, I'm just like, they can't do that. They can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that in movies.
Exactly. Like they fly off the
handles. Wasn't that a Nickelodeon show? You can't do that on TV.
You can't do that on television.
Yeah. No, for me, Weekend at Bernie's 2 is just one of like. It's one of the most fun live, like, this, we had a good crowd. We had one of the better showings in terms of amount of people.
Great crowd reaction.
People were
more fun. Into it. We watched Gremlins 2, which was usually my go-to fun movie, but I think this outdid Gremlins 2. Yeah. Also, Gremlins 2, there were some other circumstances.
Yeah, people were very drunk.
People were very, they were too, Gremlins 2, you have to pay attention to have fun. But no, Weekend at Bernie's 2, one of the more fun live movies I've watched. Coleman, your final thoughts?
Really enjoyed it. Have to see the first one now.
Yes, you do. Put that on your bucket list.
Put that one on my bucket list.
You should watch it with someone, though, because it'll still be more fun watching it with someone else.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we just wrapped up episode 2. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. If you listened, thanks for listening. And, of course, as always with Groovy Movies, we'll be back next week.
Yep, see you next week.